everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the start of another little vlog. So the other day I fell down a rabbit hole because I have a couple of pregnant friends, so we were talking about baby names and it got me looking, what does my name mean? What are characteristics of Chloe's? Is there anything that is found to be kind of universal among people named Chloe? Does the name have any meaning? And you guys take this with a grain of salt because I don't know how your name can change who you are, but I found one that's on name meanings online and it was talking about Chloe's, and there were things that were pretty relatable to me. I could say, okay, I could buy this. And so I got thinking, what would that look like in a book? So part of the characteristics are they are mysterious. People are kind of intrigued by them, which is really toot your own horn if you think people are interested in you. But and part of the reason is because we're really outgoing, but then if things aren't going our way, we kind of introvert and hole up, and that we're pretty impulsive and just all sorts of things. I'm thinking, how would that come out in art? So I thought, and just it's kind of fun to do, I thought I'm going to pick 3 books, all by different authors with the first name Chloe, and I'm going to see if there's any similarities, if maybe this name similarity thing has some truth. Kind of doubt it, but let's see. So I picked 3 books and I read the first one last night. So the first one I picked was Love and Lockdown by Chloe James. This one is an arc that is coming out, I think at the end of the month here, November 23rd or 25th-ish. And this one is about a couple in quarantine. And I just think that's so fun. So they are a couple in the sense that they have a romance throughout the book, but they do not know each other at all. So it's about Sophia and Jack. They live in the same apartment building. He lives upstairs, she lives downstairs, and they communicate just through their outside deck. They've never met, like I said. And over the course of this book, they have a romance. We also get the community, neighborhood, friend group kind of thing. And I really had high expectations for this because I thought it would be super cute. It's not quarantine smut, but it's more of a realistic quarantine story is what I thought. And let me just say, it's very sweet. There's a lot of things I like about it. So it was very sweet. Sophia especially tries to help a lot of other people, and we get to hear that. There's a widowed old man that she befriends, and I liked seeing those stories and just the community element of COVID, how we're kind of banding together and you're getting to know your neighbors in a different way, and just it's a very interesting time, that's for sure. I also loved the chronic illness rep. So Chloe has epilepsy and Jack has some sort of kidney disease. And so the level to which it impacts their day-to-day is a lot different. Jack's completely in quarantine, whereas Sophia is living her life, and she is a teacher, and so she's teaching a small group of kids, but she is teaching in person. And so it's their varying levels of day-to-day impact, but their chronic illnesses have had major implications on their life in general. So that's all I'll say about that. I really liked seeing that representation. It was there for both of them, and it was something that they both are just living with, and both have had relationships change and things that have happened because of their chronic illness that I thought were very I just thought the whole portrayal of it was very realistic. I do not have a chronic illness, so if you do and you read this, please let me know if you feel represented by it, because I thought it was well done. Anyway, so they get to know each other just through talking outside, and it's their romance. What I didn't like about this book is I felt like the main characters themselves were pretty dull, and the romance was pretty dull. I didn't really feel any sort of spark. And another thing I liked about it is the main conflict, the big conflict that happens, I really appreciated because they both were acting very responsibly and very adult in the conflict. So something happens, he tells her about this thing. It's not something happens necessarily, but he tells her something, she reacts appropriately, and I thought it was well done. Now, there is a lack of communication both in that conflict and then in a secondary conflict that happens later, so that's a little frustrating. But overall, when the conflict happened, I was if they get together and work it out, cool. If they don't, cool. Just because the romance itself was pretty dull. So it's also 380 pages or something. I just felt like it was way too long for what it was. And it combined with like the dual characters, it kind of got draggy. But that being said, I still really enjoyed the sweet tone of it. There is an epilogue, and I kind of wish there wasn't, because it's like quarantine is over, and yet it's like maybe later that year or something. You know, it's like and maybe because we're still in it, I'm not able to like get there. But quarantine is over, life is back to normal, and all of the things that were addressed as far as like chronic illness and that kind of stuff, it was like now everything's just hunky-dory. So I didn't love that part. Overall, I gave it 3 stars. It was just kind of up and down. I don't know if this is her debut or not. I should have checked on that, but the writing style was okay. Like, I could see promise, and I can see just kind of a sweet gal maybe writing this book, wanting to make people feel better in this crazy time. So that is the first book I read. Now, I have not picked anything else up, but my choices are either The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin or something by Chloe Lisi, or I think that's how you say her name. I see her on Brie from In Love and Words and Morgan from Nothing Better Than a Book. They both talk about her and really like her, and I really trust both of their opinions. And so I feel like anything I pick up from her, I will be good to go. So those are the 2 that I'm thinking of. I will get on later and let you know what I think of it, and that's it. So we'll see you in the next clip. Hey everyone, it is Saturday at like 1:15, and today has been so busy. So got up, worked out, got the girls ready, all that kind of stuff. And then Jeremy's grandparents came into town. And so it is a beautiful day outside. It's like 60 something degrees. I think the high is 70, but the wind is blowing so much. So we stayed outside with them. I don't know if you just heard that, but that was my boxer. So we stayed outside and played and took walks, and just it had really been enjoying the beautiful, beautiful weather. So now I made lunch, and we're about to do the Book Sisters live chat with Susan Wiggs, and so that's super, super exciting, and that's been the day. So let me tell you, though, what I read. So I finished The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, and I don't know what to rate it. I'm thinking like 3.5, 4 stars, so my expectations going in were really low. I don't know. Like, I've heard different things about it, very mixed reviews, and from what I've heard, I'm like, I don't know if that's my thing. So I went in with low expectations, and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. That being said, it's still not really my kind of book. So this book is about 4 siblings who, when they're young, they find this woman who supposedly can tell you the date you're going to die. So one of them says, let's go, and they all go and find out their date. Well, 3 of the 4 are told they are going to die young. And so we follow each of them. Like, it goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next. We follow all 4 and see how their life plays out. Do they actually die on that day? Do they not? What happens? And the reason I say it's not my kind of book is because it's very like dark and seedy. And one of them is a gay man that moves at like 16 or something to San Francisco with his sister. One is a circus performer. One is a military guy. And then one is like literally OCD, has a lot of anxiety about things, and is like so cautious. And so it's really interesting, and it like made me think, 1, would I want to know? No, I would not want to know. And 2, are they like potentially going to die because she said so? Or are they living their life in a certain way because they know the finite time, and so they're going to die at that point because of the way they're living their life? Like, it's just really, really interesting. And then it makes you think, like, so, I mean, we all know we have a finite time. Well, nobody's going to be here forever. We're all going to die someday. It may be tomorrow, and it may be 50 years from now. So it just makes you think, like, how are you living your life? And it's just, it's very interesting. And each of the 4 stories read entertainingly. Daniel, which is the military guy, I did not like his story. Like, his story got kind of dull, and I think it was just like the writing style, his personality. I don't like, the writing style didn't really change, but his personality and his like plot line just wasn't as engaging to me. So there's that. like I said, I think 3.5 or 4 because I can see why people love this and I can see why people don't like it. And I enjoyed it more than I thought. I think this is one too that expectations could make or break you. If you're going in expecting the best book ever, I think I would probably be like 3-star. But because I was expecting such low things, I'm like, that was way better than I thought it would be. So that is done. And now what I learned from that one is that no, just because they're both written by Chloe's, they are not in the same tone, they are not in the same style. There is nothing similar between those books. So, shocker, just because your name is Chloe, you're not the exact same person. So that's weird. But like, because Love and Lockdown was like sweet, happy-go-lucky, kind of like hopeful, and then The Immortalist was like dark, seedy, not very hopeful. So very different books. Now I'm reading Only When It's Us by Chloe Lisi. I'm guessing that's how you say her name. This is about 2 young people. It reads kind of YA, but it's definitely new adult. They're in college. And she is a soccer star, and she is trying to pass this math class or something, and she's just really struggling to keep up. So the math teacher says, hey, here's this guy. He'll help you, like, go to him. Well, she instantly thinks he's a jerk because he is like not talking to her, kind of ignoring her, and just not helpful. And so instantly, like, she's kind of a hothead. So she's like, nope, not liking this guy. And it is a hate to love, because we find out that he is deaf. And so her pride is so like wrapped up in this that she can't be like, oh, okay, like, I'm sorry, I made a big mistake. She still like doesn't like him, and their banter is so funny, and they are very like just picking on each other, and they talk all through like typing, because he is very insecure about his hearing impairment, and he's got one ear that he's like completely deaf in, and one that like maybe has some hope. So it's just so far so cute. I'm liking watching, and then also in this class, like the end of the year project final thing is a partner thing. So of course they're partnered together, and it's cute. I am like maybe a third of the way through. So far so good. The goal is to finish it today because Gilmoreathon starts tomorrow. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna go feed Annie and get things wrapped up, and then be on the Susan Wiggs talk. Hey everyone, it is Sunday, and I'm just bundled up out here with the girls. We are taking a walk because Annie will really only go to sleep like in the stroller or the car, and I'm desperate. So we are walking her around to put her to sleep. But I finished Only When It's Us by Chloe Lisi. I think it's Lisi because that's how the audiobook said it. And so I'm giving it 3 stars. It was just okay. It was a cute new adult. It did get pretty smutty, which I don't love. But again, just about a girl who is a soccer star, and she's got a mom with cancer. And that is really, really sad and really prevalent in this book. So her struggle with that was interesting and like heartbreaking to see. And then also how Ryder kind of plays into that. He's helping her both in school and in life, and their relationship was really sweet, and they were really like supportive of each other, and it was good. It was just nothing like, I wasn't that emotionally invested, and it was just kind of okay. So 3 stars for that. And that was kind of like middle of the road between super light and super dark. So Chloe's, we can do all things. Okay, well, if you have read any of these books, let me know. If you know any other authors named Chloe, let me know. I was thinking about doing, just because it's interesting, like to read about your name, I was thinking about maybe doing characters with my name, or maybe this is silly and I shouldn't do any of this. I don't know. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and let me know what you read this week, and we'll see you in the next one.